Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the bench. So today we're going to talk about this particular ratchet that I picked up from Lowe's about a year and a half ago, and I want to give you a quick review on it. Now, this particular ratchet, what makes this ratchet special is the fact that it has the quarter, half inch, and 3/8 all in one. Now, if you ever deal with the ratchet or if you use them a lot and you have a lot of different sockets, we all know sometimes you need an adapter to get the job done. One of the beauties of this particular ratchet is that you have all three of them connected in one. So that's one of the beauties. That's one of the things I really like about this particular ratchet, is that you can use it and you can attach all three of them without changing out your ratchet or using an attachment. Now, one of the downsides to this particular ratchet, you can obviously see that if you were trying to get into a small, tight place, you can see that that's not going to happen for you. So if you're a mechanic, this is not going to work for you, because this is about, what, 2 inches almost? Yeah, roughly about 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4. That's not made for tight places. That's one of the reasons why I don't use this at work. Mainly, this is a ratchet that I picked up for home usage. I have a lot of different sockets, a bin full of them here. I have a whole bunch up here. I got some deep welds over there. I got a little set right here, and I have some more over there in my toolbox. So, I got tired of always, having to go between ratchets at home if I'm got to go do a job on the car or whatnot, or using an extension or attachment, and I just got tired of fooling around with it. One day I was walking around and I seen this baby sitting on the shelf, and I picked it up. I want to say it cost me around about 18 bucks, somewhere around there, 18, 19 bucks for this particular ratchet. Now, I will go and say right now that if you are looking to buy this particular ratchet, you're not going to find it. And if you do find it, you might find it online, but I have looked in the stores for this particular ratchet. Every time I go to Lowe's, I kind of, look around, walk around, see what they got out, see if it's something I may want. And I've never came across this particular ratchet. I don't know if it was a one-time thing, or, that's the thing dealing with Kobalt. One of the things I really don't like about that company, I love the company itself, but one of the things I don't like is the fact that Kobalt makes things and they keep them on the market just for maybe like a few months, and then you be damn near pressed to find it again. As far as this particular ratchet goes, if you look online, you may can find it. I don't know, there's pictures of it out there, but I haven't really met anybody who's has this particular ratchet. Maybe some people out here looking at this video probably have it, but you're gonna be hard pressed to find in the store. Now, this particular ratchet, I'm a machinist by trade, so I don't use this particular ratchet at work, because at work I have a lot of bolts or nuts that are, they need to be broken loose. I need something a little more heavy duty than this particular ratchet. If you look at the handle right here, on the handle we get about 5 inches on the handle. So as far as that goes, it's good for home usage. I've tried breaking loose, changing oil and the drainage nut on the oil pan, and it just doesn't have enough ass to it, I don't think, enough leverage. So we all know how that works in school. The more leverage you have, you could, break, something that's, hard to break loose. The more leverage you have, the better off you'll be. This one's, like I said, with the 5-inch handle, it doesn't really have a lot of leverage, but it does not make this a bad tool at all. Like I said, this is really good for home usage. Especially if you doing a lot of work in different areas around the house. If you're a handyman and you have like one of these little socket sets that you clip to the back of your belt, and you just want to pick this up, and instead of fumbling through all your different ratchets and maybe thinking, oh, I might need an adapter to go from a, I don't know if it's a 3/8 or a half, or I'm not sure, instead of fooling around with all that, or if you got a bin full of them, just pick this baby up. Pick this up, you ready to go. So no, regardless of what you got, you got at least the right ratchet for the job. Also too, when you're dealing with extensions on ratchets, and maybe this is just me, but a lot of times when you're dealing with an adapter, for an example. So if you have a particular adapter or a long one and say you have to switch over from like a, you know, you need an adapter to go from a 3/8 or a half to 3/8 or whatnot. Sometimes that makes it a little difficult to actually get that same amount of torque that you need or whatnot. I'm assuming that's the right word. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But to get that you need to break loose something. So this is one of the things that I do like about this, is because you don't need an adapter, that you still have that same amount of leverage that you need to break loose something. A lot of times too, you'll notice that when you have, you know, a longer extension onto it, you know, sometimes it's a little wobbly, a little wobble. It has a little wobble in it. It's a little hard to break loose a nut or a bolt, versus just having it kind of short and stubby and just getting down on it and breaking it loose. Now, as far as the play in the gears, I'm not sure how many teeth are in this particular ratchet, but it has hardly any back. So once you turn it, you're not turning back. I mean, it has no back play in it at all. None. None at all. That's one of the things I like about this particular ratchet. You know, very little back play on it. Now it has a little number right here on the bottom. All these ratchets from Kobalt have their number stamped right here on the bottom, and it's a 498921. And that smaller number at the bottom is a 0115. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a model number. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's a model number and maybe a reference number of when this particular batch was made. Probably, if I had to assume, that's what it would be. Now, like I said, you know, I love this particular ratchet. I use it all the time. If you're a mechanic, maybe somebody who's, you know, your bread and butter, this may not be the particular ratchet for you, depending on what it is that you do every day. For me, this wouldn't get the job done at work. I could probably break loose a lot of stuff, but not everything. But other than that, I would say that if you run into this particular ratchet in the store or online, it's definitely worth the money. It definitely saves the frustration, the headaches of trying to search for a particular socket. But good luck finding it. And if you do find it, pick it up, because it's definitely worth it. Thank you for joining me on the bench.